Welcome to Sweaty Time Pro Wrestling. Boom, cut you off before we could have a real conversation so I could get in this intro to Sweaty Time Pro Wrestling, the podcast where we watch Lucha Underground. I am your co-host, Sean. With me is my co-host, James.
Oh, hello. Sean, I don't know, what were you cutting me off from? I don't understand what's going on.
Weren't you about to say you were using words, and then
No.
I jumped in? You are going to edit it out and make me look like a crazy person.
What's there to edit out, Sean?
The words you were about to say.
I didn't say anything. It was the
weird.
cleanest intro you've ever done. There was no stumbling. There was no, I'm a deer in a headlight.
That's called my charm. I'll have you know. I've got deer in a headlight riz coming out of my pores.
Oh, is riz charisma? Is that? Oh, charisma. Okay, all right. I never said it out loud. Okay, I'm a fuck. Speaking of fucks, hey,
fucks.
Sean, were you at work all day Thursday?
Yeah, why?
Oh, okay. Well, I went over to your place and you weren't there.
Wait, two things. You saw TorchyBerry? Shouts out to TorchyBerry on Twitch. Second thing, I don't live with TorchyBerry.
I was seeing all your knickknacks everywhere. I was like, oh, that's a Sean one. I know that's a Sean one. No one else here is going towards the beautiful women of wrestling pinup poster from 1986 because you're like, hey, that same year matches up with the dates of this year now.
Okay, two things. First of all, everyone is going towards the beautiful women of wrestling 1987 pinup calendars.
86.
You'd be a fool not to. 86 was a golden year for women who were beautiful and wrestled. Second thing is, to be fair, I leave knickknacks everywhere I go. If you look around your place long enough, you will find knickknacks. I actually do have a knickknack over there. I left my water bottle. I still need to pick that up.
Yeah, at our place, and
I leave knickknacks everywhere.
It makes sense that you wouldn't be coming over to get that because I saw many water bottles exactly like that over at your place, and I'm like, well, that's Sean.
Yeah, knickknacks means water bottles, correct?
Yeah, knick-knack, patty, whack me off and feed my bone to that pussy.
That's what I've been saying.
Oh, but yeah, I had a pleasant time at Torchy's, aka your place, teaching her how to use Audacity.
I don't know what Torch is doing with Audacity, but y'all, if you're not following Torchy, you should do that. She's a good friend of ours.
And it's crazy, Sean. You live so close.
To you?
Yeah.
I don't live there.
Yes, you do.
No, we've gone over it multiple times if I lived there, you would not have had so many text messages from me being like, I'm 30 minutes late to the recording. I'm so late. I hate these buses. The city of Chicago wants to kill my soul.
Oh, wow.
I would just walk. I have there's a lot of text messages we share where I'm just like, I'm sorry I'm late. I'm so sorry I'm late.
It's also crazy that just get a scooter. It'll take you 22 minutes to get here.
From my place, my actual place, not my
From
fictional
Torchy's
location.
and your
That's
place.
not where I live. Welcome to Sweaty Time Pro Wrestling, the podcast where we watch Lucha Underground. We are at Season 1, Episode 31. The Desolation of Drago.
No, he's back, guys. Yes,
What?
I mean.
Huh? The last time we saw Drago, if this is your first episode, or you've just been smoking some Chiba and you forgot what happened to the Dragon Man. He won his best of 5 series against Aerostar, gave him a unique opportunity where he had a title match, but if he lost the title match, he would be banished from the temple. Sadly, Prince Puma remained our champion. Well, not sadly for that. Prince Puma's great. But Drago was banished. However, maybe there's a loophole in this episode? We don't know. All we know is it's Drago on the temple roof with bat wings.
If the only sad thing is if he lost and Conan retained the championship, I'd be like, get that fucker out of here.
Man, what are you talking about? No, that's my headcanon. That's the fan fiction I've been writing for the 17 plus years.
Yeah, well, guess what? I bet Conan also believes currently in this season he is also the holder of the champion belt. Because he's like, Puma wouldn't have been here if it weren't for my guidance.
Quick tangent. I know we don't talk a lot about modern day wrestling. Do you remember Christian of Edge and Christian from WWF late 90s, early 2000s?
Yeah, I also remember Christian from Jesus Christ.
All right. This is not a VeggieTales podcast, and it
will
never
be
will
turning
be.
into
It will
one
never
if
be.
you fuckers don't tell your friends to listen to this.
Please, I cannot afford to watch the VeggieTales. I beg of you to listen. Christian recently did something. It was an interesting decision. I'm excited to see where the storyline goes. Where he had a match for the the TV title in AEW, lost the TV title, but he's managing a giant dinosaur man, who I think we'll see by season 2 or 3. I think he comes into Lucha Underground. But the giant dinosaur man won, and Christian spent the entire time holding the title like he had just won it.
Hell yeah.
And it's going to be this very interesting, pretty much what you just said Conan would do, but never would, because Conan is an honorable man, even if Vampiro is too blind to see it.
I'll just say this real quick, guys. If our podcast becomes popular and Sean tries to hold that metaphorical belt above his head, I will get very pissed off at him. I will say, no, this was my work. I'm the one making TikToks. I'm the one promoting. I'm the one working to make this succeed.
And I'm the one working to want to wake up in the morning. That was darker than I meant it to be.
Yeah.
And I can only apologize, much like Vampiro can only apologize for his actions last week when he came in to defend Sexy Star from Pentagon Jr. He got involved. He broke a mirror using his own head. He listened to the voices in his head that he broke with a mirror.
Also, Vampiro is saying, oh, that wasn't my place. That wasn't my job to do. Guess what, dude? Someone else isn't doing their job. Security isn't. Dario isn't. Someone needs to be telling Pentagon Jr., hey, you can't keep doing this. Or the other people in the back of the locker room need to just walk up to Pentagon at, 10 deep and be like, all right, I'm sorry we have to do this, but we're not just going to break your arm. We're going to break the other one and your legs and then your neck.
Nah, dude. Religious freedom. It is Pentagon Jr.'s religion to break these workers' arms without health insurance or good contracts. Man. No, yeah. So really, it is Vampiro stomping all over his rights. And I don't know about you, but I believe in freedom of religion. And Pentagon Jr. did nothing wrong.
Every episode of Bible Man you've ever been on says otherwise, Sean.
What? Huh? Oh, man, I don't retain any of that information. I can't.
Hey, real quick, guys.
Yeah.
Drago is actually a bat now.
Yeah.
He's got bat wings, and we'll get into it later on when he shows up in a match. I have some notes on how he's entering and kind of the entire vibe he's giving off.
Yeah, while Matt does thank Vampiro for doing what's right, headbutting the damned mirror. And we cut to the ring where Dario has an announcement and a microphone. He announces Ultima Lucha, a major season finale-like event. Hell yeah. So right now tonight we will have a number 1 contender match.
Yes!
With a bunch of dudes who Prince Puma has already whooped. Cage, Hernandez, Cuerno, and Phoenix. JK, Mill killed Phoenix last week. So it's just gonna be a 3-way.
Mill killed that birdie boy.
Oh, I miss him. Also, hey, it's Blue Demon Jr.
Yes! BDJ!
Back at it again in the fine suit. Dario goes to BDJ, makes his way to the ring in the fine suit, says, you like big events with big paydays? Well, let's make sure you don't have that rust on you so I can book you in Ultima Lucha. Here's another return you can match up against right now. And hey, it's Chavo with the crew. Or what's left of the crew after Dario's brother ate one of them.
Yeah, spiritually, and you believe in that religious freedom.
It's true. No, I didn't say he was wrong to do it. I'm just stating the facts that one member of the crew was eaten by Dario's brother. I love wrestling.
Sean recently told me he got finished with Shiny Happy Family, and he was like, I don't see anything wrong with this. This is their First Amendment right, guys.
I hate when you do this. In the improv world, it is a gift you have given me, and I thank you. But you also know it is a gift of a show I have not seen. so I can't really refute it. I'm pretty sure I'm not supposed to root for them.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That's you don't want to. No, thank you.
No, it's because we talked about it last week. It's the I have a bunch of kids and I'm Mormon. We're also evil people
Not
documentary
Mormon.
show. Mormon-like?
No.
What are they?
They're, I guess, Protestant. Like, they're of
That's
some
Mormon.
weird sect. No, it's not.
All Christians are the same.
Oh, because you're like, hey, I'm the real Christian. I'm Catholic, fuckers.
I absolutely would never say that.
Yes, you do. You've said it
Catholics
so
suck.
many times on Bible, man.
We've recorded that. There is evidence of me never saying that.
You're like, oh, boy, do I reminisce and I feel nostalgia, no glasses on me about my days in Catholic school.
Hey, if you're a Catholic out there, get fucked. And if you're Christian out there, get fucked. And if you're Chavo Guerrero, who shows up in full gear to go against Blow Damon Jr., in his fine suit, anything goes matched. Hey, Chavo, get fucked. It's Suit Damon Jr. versus Chavo.
And Dario says, hey, Blue Damon Jr., you're Lucha Libre. And I'm like, no, he's not. Last I checked, it was a little man named Jack Evans.
Jack Evans is Lucha Libre. If you do not respect that, you clearly do not follow him on Twitch.
Guys,
Yes.
Chavo Guerrero flip-flops more than Mitt Romney in '08, babe.
God damn it. Into the match. He does flip-flop a lot because Suit Damon Jr. has no hesitation in his dress shoes and his fine shirt to immediately rush Chavo as soon as the bell rings.
He flip-flops what?
Like Mitt Romney in 2008, baby.
I was just looking for the babe. He flip-flops, babe.
Okay. He flip-flops, babe. However, the numbers game eventually catch up to Damon, as it is an anything goes match. There is no disqualification, which means it's essentially 3-on-1 the entire match as the crew hold Damon down. Chavo whips out a kendo stick. They rip off his nice shirt so that Chavo can start slapping him in the chest. It's a mean bugging. Eventually, the crew hold down Blue Damon Jr. for Chavo's Frog Splash, the victory at 3 minutes and 5 seconds.
And they noogie him real good.
They noogie him real good. It's brutal. Then we cut to inside the temple front doors. It's Drago with bat wings.
I still have more. I think we should be saying like, hey, before we go on to the next thing, you got any notes?
I would, but it was 3 minutes and 5 seconds.
Well, Vampiro, I thought you would have this notated. Vampiro about Blue Damon Jr. is like, man, I hope Chavo whips his ass. I don't like Blue Damon. And I'm like, why? Why don't you like this man that is revered by everyone?
It's secretly Conan.
Oh,
it's not. That's not true.
That's why he was limping.
I really did appreciate how I took a hit off my vape pen and James started coughing.
Oh, I've been just taking tortillas and eating them as snacks throughout the day when I'm like, well, I have to do something. I should be eating a meal, but I don't have time to really relish in it. So I put some relish on a tortilla and I eat that. And I think it was some of the corn tortilla in the back of my throat.
Oh, okay. Also, I noticed during the podcast when you don't have time to actually chew, but you are still you still want to get that tortilla goodness inside of you. You have been smoking tortilla chips.
Yes, I've been smoking in both senses, like the literal sense, which is, like a smoked salmon. I smoke them, and that just makes it easier to smoke it like a J. But when I don't have time to smoke it, I'm just deep throating them, letting it slide down my gullet.
Oh, hell yeah. Well, let's slide up to Dario's attic brother prison. I don't know what else to call this room.
I don't know, prison.
Yeah, but it's an attic brother prison. It's a very specific prison.
The jail cell.
Where Black Lotus has been locked up. And Chavo addresses Black Lotus, captured in this cell next to the man who's killed her family. And Chavo apologizes, it's just business. Black Lotus responds, you're a liar. Chavo says, I'm a Guerrero. It's very interesting. He's getting cocky.
Ooh.
Like the fact that he just did what he did to Blue Damon Jr. The thing that got him blacklisted from Mexico that has all these assassins and hitmen after him, he just did it all over again because he thinks he's safe.
Well, he is now.
I don't, Chavo. I would watch my bag if I were you.
If I knew that someone I was aligning myself with for protection had an individual that eats people's heads off, I'd be like, you want to know what? I'm pretty safe right now.
I don't know, man. I eat people's heads off, and like, I don't feel safe. I just feel hungry all the time.
There's a Sid Voorhees song that we should remake, and it'll be, I'ma eat your head off. I'ma eat your head off.
Oh man, I'm gonna eat your head off in the temple bathroom. That's right. I'm giving blowjobs in the stalls.
Yes.
As
using
Dario.
so much tooth.
Just one tooth, but it's a good one. Dario can't even wash his hands without getting pinned to the wall by Drago.
Yes.
And the bat wings and everything. Drago maintains he was a former contender for Puma's title. He wants in on that #1 contendership match. And Dario has to relent that the mighty Drago has found a loophole. Basically, he's been like, that's true. You're a #1 contender. You do qualify. And since Phoenix has been mutilated by Mil Muertes, yeah, you in there. Get it. So Drago is now in the match. It's back to a fatal 4-way. But if Drago does not win tonight, he'll not only remain banished, but he must leave his mask behind.
I don't get that.
He must unmask.
How? He's not wearing one. He's a dragon, right?
So I don't think they ever said that he wasn't also a luchador. If I had to guess, I think it's the mask is turning him into a dragon.
Oh, okay.
Because he always had the five fingies, 2 thumbs, like nipples where nipples should be. He's always looked like a human, but just also like a dragon at the same time.
Sir, I've seen Shrek hentai. Dragons got titties, all right?
Okay, the titties is not fair. But the fingies is infallible.
Okay, all right. I'll trust your decision on this, but one thing I do, they are making this man Batman. And
yes.
if we find out he is either rich or Delavari is funding his ventures, I'm going to be like, okay, they're just doing Batman. If he has an older butler that speaks in a posh accent of any sort, I'm going to be like, okay, guys, calm it down.
That's actually, I like this idea for a superhero. It's kind of Batman Beyond, where on the Delavar idea of... it's not Batman in that I pay my own way. I'm a billionaire and I bought all this expensive crime fighting gear. I'm essentially being sponsored by a rich person.
Yeah.
It's just like, I don't know. I picture just a real good old fashioned dock worker, a real Marlon Brando from On the Waterfront type of guy.
No.
Who was like, I could have been a contender, but the mob made me take all the losses in boxing matches. So now I have to fight crime because some eccentric old fart gave me a bunch of money to wear a cape.
Yeah.
And then we do Batman Beyond again.
I like this idea. Let's draw it up. Let's go back to 2016 and pitch it to him.
Absolutely. And then when they say, hey, isn't that kind of like Batman Beyond, which was like 2004, we'll say, shut up.
Isn't that like the still ongoing comic book happening right now?
And we'll say, shut up.
We'll punch him in the dick and be like, hey, that's what you get. This is your new 52. New 52 punches into your dick. And then Dario's like, oh, geez, once you get to 52, you will have persuaded me. As he's sweating buckets and just like drenched everywhere.
Doing a terrible job of covering up his very obvious kink of being punched in the dick 52 times.
And he's reaching over to snort cocaine while getting punched.
Oh, hell yeah. Sipping that thin gravy.
Oh, yes. I forgot about that.
There's no thin gravy in this episode. We have to make sure you guys know that anytime you see brown liquid in a little glass with ice in it, that's gravy, daddy.
Now, if it's brown liquid inside a duffel bag near Chavo's locker, that's diarrhea, guys. Don't drink it.
Do not drink the Chavo. There's another match happening tonight. Do you want to talk about it?
Yeah, let's go for it. Also, too, the people on TikTok listening right now, I'm sorry I keep clipping the inside jokes. Listen to the full show so you will know what the fuck we're talking about.
Yeah, and then take a shit in Chavo's bag. He deserves it.
Go to the set of Young Rock season 4, maybe, and find him. He'll be training actors to do wrestling maneuvers, and then you'll be able to say, oh, he's distracted, but he knows what's about to happen.
James, I am so sorry to do this on podcast. I don't know if you've seen. You're already crying.
I know. I'm just being optimistic. Maybe Hulu will pick up the show.
All right. We should clarify to our listeners. James's favorite wrestling show, Young Rock, has been canceled.
No, I think Quibi's gonna make a turnaround and Young Rock season 4 will happen.
James, I have even more terrible news. I don't think Quibi exists anymore either.
No, that's what I'm saying. They're going to make a comeback, the branding on Roku TV, because they bought all the original programming, you know?
Okay.
Why do I know so much about the biz? It's because I need to make sure Young Rock season 4 is going to happen.
It needs to happen. Chavo needs a job. Oh my gosh. Well, these three fellows just found themselves a new job as goons. The former goons of Mil Muertes, or current goons. They have a name now. They are the Disciples of Death.
Yes.
With Katarina taking on Bengala, a returning Masquerita Sangrada, and a returning Pimpinella Escarlata.
Yeah.
We have not seen Masquerita or Pimpinella. I believe it was Pentagon that took them out, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, they're back, and they're having a good time. The goons make their first entrance. Not as much a good time. They're fucking with the lights. They've got a whole atmosphere about them. It's terrifying. I'm quaking in my little boots. I had to put on boots to watch this match. I was quaking so hard.
Man, I heard the best boy on set hated them so much.
Oh, no. Wait, who's the best boy on set?
The best boy. That's their name. They're in charge of, like, the electricians. And why do I know this shit, Sean?
Oh.
I mean, why don't you know this shit?
I work in a smoke and vapors shop. What the fuck are you talking about?
Eat shit. You were or will be also a professional actor.
Yeah, man, but, you know.
They're in charge of the lighting and shit with the grips, you know? The best boy, I believe, is kind of the supervisor of all those dudes.
Okay. That's now that you say it, it sounds familiar. I'm never getting cast ever again after this episode comes out.
Yeah, especially because we're about to be popular after I post that TikTok.
Oh, hell yeah. We're going to be motherfucking Elphaba from the Wicked series. The wickedly talented Elphaba.
Ooh, the wickedly talented Mr. Ripley.
Ooh, the wickedly talented motherfucking Pimpinella Escarlata is back. The liver of the free life is dancing with the fan in the front row before entering the ring and then dancing some more.
Yeah. And kissing.
And kissing. Only way to stop Pimpinella Escarlata is to jump them before the bell even rings, but it doesn't stop them that much. Is there any more of a power move to just be like, to just dance in your opponent's face, and then when they punch you, just be like, no, if you're going to hit me, you fucking hit me. Mm-hmm. Until then, I'm going to keep dancing. Cha-cha-cha-cha-cha-cha.
That was my maneuver whenever someone would try to fight me. I'd let them punch me and I'd just go crazy. I'd be like, yeah, that was pretty good. And then they're like, oh no, what did I get myself into?
Hell yeah. Unfortunately, the goons never have a second to ask, oh, hell no, what have I got myself into? They do have the power of the rubble held by Katrina at ringside.
No.
And they're all fueled by death and some crazy evil shit. Eventually the goon avoids running into Pimpy's ass, but can't really do anything, can't get anything started against Pimpy. Tags in Bengala to stay fresh. Bengala is a white tiger.
Yes.
And it looks very cool.
It looks cool, but the practicality of having a fur mask, I think would just be stinky and hard to clean.
Nah, dude. I wasn't sure how I was gonna feel about that, and then I immediately remembered. I think it was Violent. It's Violent J's daughter that they have the picture of them at the FurryCon together, and I am convinced there is no power greater than the power of a furry to remain sweaty and stinky and still ready to fucking go at any given time.
Okay, all right.
Bengala gets the hot tag, or not even a hot tag. Like Pimpy was on top, just tagged in Bengala to kind of stay fresh. Misses series of cat puns. Bengala back handsprings through double team attempts, slides out double trip, springboard moonsaults 2 goons, but is caught by a third.
Dang it.
And that's kind of where it is. Similar to crew style matches, but a little cleaner. I hate to say it now that one of the crew's heads has been eaten by Dario's brother.
It's fine.
But like, no, yeah, because like they were, this, like even the triple threat match, we talked about like how scary some of those, they kind of got with some of those spots. I feel like these guys are doing like the same kind of story of when we're working together, we're more powerful than the other team, but they're not making me worry about their broken necks, which is nice. I like them.
One thing that commentary was saying, oh, the contrast between these two Pimpian folks, they're all in white, and then these Death Boys are all in black. And then Vampiro says, it's not just black and white. Look at it here. One's short, one's pimpy, and one's a cat. The other 3, they worship the devil.
One's pimpy. I love anyone, not even just a wrestler, but anytime you have to describe someone, you're just like, and all you can say is their name.
Uh-huh. I also think Bengala is super dope. I'm excited for that. And once the death dudes start getting cooking, Vampiro, I believe, said like, hey, they came in, these death folks, going along with the comedy, like saying, hey, you want to know what? We'll meet you on your level. But eventually just said, screw this goofy noise, and just kept going. And Sean, that describes you coming into this show every week.
Well, we got to keep the podcast moving.
Let's move it.
Masquerade. Tijera step up tornado clears the goons, tag to Masquerita. Masquerita gets tagged in and is immediately kicked in the head and then just bullied. Like, this is where that turnaround comes in. And I partly agree with Vampiro. I agree that's me. It's me. I see myself.
It's a me.
It's a me, the exasperated one. Wahoo. I think it's more that because they're not winning while they're putting up with their goofiness. It's that, especially like in the case of Pimpy, is that they wrestle quote unquote goofy, but in a way to throw off your opponent. That's the head games.
Yeah.
To be fair, if I'm fighting someone and I'm like, you kind of get a little bit in your head, like, okay, they might throw a jab, they might throw a roundhouse kick or something. I'm not thinking, okay, they might climb up to the second rope and then stick their ass out for me to run headfirst into it. I would never see that coming. But that is something you need to worry about if you're wrestling Pimpinella Escarlata.
That's my same angle whenever I have to get my car repaired and go to an auto body shop. I just act goofy. I'm putting my ass in faces. So then they're kind of like, okay, we're not going to screw this person over. We want them out of here. Get out. Just whatever money you're willing to give us to get out of here.
Mm-hmm. And then you kind of just lean over and stick your ass out in case one of them accidentally run headfirst into it.
Uh-huh. And it happens, okay?
It happens more than you think.
All the oil slicks on these auto shops.
If you're out there listening or watching Lucha Underground and you're like, well, I could stick my ass out. No one's ever going to run face first into my butt. They will. Mm-hmm. They will with an alarming regularity.
Nicole does that often, and when I run my face into it, she's like, I'm not doing that. You're just running your face into my ass. She's like sitting down most of the times I do it, and I'll in quotes, trip, but it's like, no, you want my face to run into your ass.
I'm not doing it. This is you. Speaking of asses, Masquerade is getting his ass kicked. Triple team springboard drop kick from Bengala, though. It's similar to a lot of crew matches before, where you'll see individual hope spots, but the synchronicity, and some of these fucking like triple team moves. The two goons hold up someone while a third springboard drop kicks in. Eventually, Bengala has to powder out, and they throw Masquerita on top of him to take Bengala and Masquerita out of the match entirely. Pimpinella in ring, triple teamed on, takes a trip through the streets of Galilee. Their triple team powerbomb gourdbuster combo finisher. And Pimpinella is pinned L style at 6 minutes 56 seconds. Kind of like L from Death Note. The goon just perches on Pimpy's chest, feet and all.
I said like a gargoyle.
Gargoyle, L from Death Note is an interesting way to cover the ever interesting but ever beaten tonight at 6 minutes 56 seconds. Pimpinella Escarlata.
Cheer!
Good to have him back, though. Good to have him back.
Yeah, and I have no more notes on this match.
Well, then let's talk about Dario's office, where dark suit, open shirt Johnny Mundo wants to know why he's not in the number one contender match tonight. He fought Prince Puma. I think that was the first episode of Lucha Underground was Puma and Johnny. So, like, what the fuck? What the heck? Dario, what the heck? Why not Johnny? Dario clarifies. His plan is to make Johnny champion at Ultima Lucha. Please sit down. Johnny, please sit down. I've got a long-term scheme. He lets Johnny know he does not hold grudges. So you gave me a black eye. Who cares? I look great in sunglasses. That's an exact quote from this episode, and I love that.
Mm-hmm. It helps me hide my cocaine eyes.
Absolutely. Dario's the ultimate optimist. So what, my brother enjoys the taste of flesh. I can use that to, like, make my goons even stronger by taking out the weak ones.
I actually don't think he's eating the flesh. I think he's, like, puncturing the top of the head and then sucking everything out of the skin, and then like a foreskin flopping off from the neck hole, the face and head skin just flops down.
I would add to that, I don't think he's sucking up the blood based on how much blood was splashed onto the faces of the other crew members. I think it might just be bone. Can you get bone marrow from the top of the spine?
Maybe, but what could be happening is he's squeezing the midsection to pop up everything else, and as that pops up, that's when blood starts volcanoing out.
That's it. So he's creating like a fountain situation where there's no way I could catch all of this blood in my mouth, but I'm going to get a lot of it.
It's like when you're super thirsty and you're drinking so much water and it's just falling down, or when you wake up in the middle of the night as a kid and for some weird reason you're craving milk. So you go downstairs and you're like thinking you're about to die if you don't drink this milk right away. So you just say, screw it, I'm not even going to pour a glass. I'll drink it right from the carton.
I'm sorry, I cannot relate. When I'm super thirsty, I look at my 1986 pinup of the beautiful women of wrestling.
Yeah.
Wow. Anyway, so because Dario does not hold grudges, and especially because Dario fell in love with Johnny after seeing him send Alberto through the glass of his own office.
Yes.
He wants to see Johnny defeat Puma for the title in an Iron Man match next week, so that Johnny enters Ultima Lucha not as a number one contender, but as the champion himself.
Oh, Sean.
What's up?
This is my nightmare, my all night long mare.
I wasn't sure if you would remember that on paper you hate Iron Man matches.
Yeah, I heard this was going to be the only match, and I'm like, there had better be a lot of backstage story bullshit happening during this, or I might just check out.
All right. I might be doing, next week it might be a solo record.
Oh man, it'd be, actually, it might be as easy to record as just a normal episode. Or edit, I mean.
Yeah. I'm excited for it. I like Iron Man matches. I ran into someone yesterday who was a big Undertaker fan, and I'm not. I kind of relented this, like, you know what? He's not my guy. His style never super did it for me, but I get that he did it for a lot of people, and I respect that. I think it's kind of the opposite, I guess, where we were coming at for Iron Man matches, or like these slower style, big paced matches. I like them, and I accept that not everyone will, and that's okay. Not everyone needs to listen to ska music. That doesn't make my enjoyment of ska music any less. I just get it's not for everyone.
I hate Iron Man matches, and I will convince everyone else to feel the same way, okay?
Oh, well, that sounds like a really pleasant person to be around.
And you're going to find it all out. And everyone will leave next week's episode hating Iron Man matches because, where's Tony Stark at? Where's Ned Stark at, okay?
Yeah. Where's Ghostface Killer? Is that Iron Man from the Wu-Tang Clan? I think that's Ghostface.
I don't like them.
I know. You don't like anything I like. You
I
son
should
of a
say,
bitch.
I understand that they are good. They're just not for me.
Oh, interesting. And now tell me again how you feel about Iron Man matches.
You want to know why they're not for me, but if you like them, too bad you're wrong.
Well, too bad if you didn't want to see the main event because we're there, Daddy.
Well, first, I do like how Dario, the new monikers he's given Johnny, the real Johnny, the bloodthirsty arrow, the breaker of man.
Yeah, or guy with his chest out and looks good in a suit.
Or Nitro.
Two of those may not have been real.
One was. He used to go by Johnny Nitro.
Yeah, but it wasn't from Dario.
Yeah, well, he could say, like, hey, I like how explosive you are, like nitroglycerin, babe.
Or he could be like, hey, I like when it's dark outside and you go into a single file line and it becomes a night row.
Ooh, I like that.
I worked so hard for it. Could you hear me? Could you hear my flop sweat as I was going through it? It was a struggle.
I also like it when on Dirty Jobs, it's, sunset and then we get a Mike Nitro.
Or like when you're trying to cross a bridge and there is a creature underneath that tries to stop you and you say, nay, 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 I will say, nay, troll.
Or I love it when Nicolas Cage, back in the bootlegging days, he's running from Canada into America, sending booze everywhere on a boat, and he's got to do it in the evening time for a night row.
Night row. I like that. James, save me.
Hey, man, this next match has got a bunch of people in it.
That's true. Is the number one contendership fatal 4-way match to determine who will be the number one contender at the Ultima Lucha season finale-like event. It will be Cage versus King Cuerno versus Hernandez versus Drago? ?
Whoa, he's Batman!
Wow. And Melissa Santos announces that Batman's mask is on the line.
Oh, yeah.
And Hernandez claps.
Hernandez couldn't help but grin and smile. He's trying to look cool and composed and like menacing. But I bet when he saw the intro that Drago was doing, he's like, this is cool.
I like to think that he was like, this is pretty cool. And then his mask will be on the line. Yeah, good. Fuck this guy. He looks too cool. I need that mask for my own.
So during this match, it revolves around his mask.
Real quick before we get into the match, if you defeat Batman in the street, can you take his mask and become Batman?
Yeah.
James, I have a new plan for life. I'm going to defeat the Batman.
How?
Ooh, I didn't think that far ahead. Okay.
He has a plan in his supercomputer to take out all his allies just in case they get a little too strong. And you better believe he's got something on his favorite podcast. He is one of our two listeners, Batman, and this man named Bruce Wayne. I'm pretty excited.
Oh, interesting. But we discussed something. James, if you remember but moments ago, we've already discussed the perfect plan for which nobody can come up a plan against. I'm sticking my ass out, baby.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm a Batman running straight first into my rectum. Pimpinella Escarlata style.
Get it on camera, send it to the paper, and all of a sudden he's canceled.
Yeah, and also unconscious because I have buns of steel.
I've been working on my ass, and it's nowhere near a mill ass, but those are my aspirations.
All right, so we got plans to get... Okay, so tight buns, destroy the Batman, meet Mil Muertes.
Yes.
Let's go.
My aspirations do make my ass perspirations, okay?
Nice. Well, I'm getting sweaty as this match begins.
Oh, I had some
Are
stuff.
we ready? Do we have more? Okay, go
No,
ahead.
I just had some stuff before. I wasn't getting into the match just because you were like, hey, before we get into the match. I just like, it's revolving around something said in the match, but you see it before. You can see that Drago is getting, as Vampiro says, is getting scalier. And I thought he was going to lose. But when they remove his mask, we see like just a full-on like dragon style makeup underneath. I don't know how that would have stayed on, but they could have figured something out. Or there's a mask underneath his mask. That would have been funny too.
Well, and also the show's not live. I could see them doing something if they were to do it like that. Of like, and Drago's been pinned. We gotta go to commercial break. And then they go apply the makeup. And people are just sitting there for like 3 hours while Drago's in the chair being like, can we go home? I need to leave. I need to go. I got a 1986 Beautiful Women of Wrestling calendar that I'm trying to look at all night.
Yeah, brother.
But yeah, it's the, I love it. Yeah, Vampiro's just like, his skin's getting scalier. Weird. Mm-hmm. Like, you know what, Vampiro? That's true. But the match begins. Ring the bell, a ding, ding, ding. Huh. Cage and Hernandez literally shoving Drago and Cuerno out of the ring so that they can shove each other out of the ring, and then Cage and Cuerno come back in. Interesting start, but I get it.
You want to know who would make a really good bellboy?
I'm going to say Sting from The Police in the Who movie Quadrophenia.
No, Crazy Frog, because he goes bring, ding, 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 ding.
He wouldn't even need a bell. The bell was inside of him all along.
Uh-huh.
Because he ate a bell.
Oh, you want to know who also ate a bell? A little man named the Beast.
Oh, wait, the Mr. Beast or the X-Man?
No, from Beauty and the Beast, because he ate Belle. Like her pussy, you know?
Oh, okay. I was going to be like, he does not eat Belle. That movie's romantic's not the right word. Creepy, I guess. He does kidnap the shit out of her.
It's a tradesy, you know?
For what?
For her father.
Oh, okay. That's still not great.
That was her decision to go into the castle, okay? I want everyone to be aware of this.
No, it's her decision. It's a shitty decision to have to make, though.
And then she fixes him, literally, and this entire castle.
Mm-hmm. Which is also not a great message. Hey, if you get kidnapped, you can just fix them. It'll be fine.
Again, not kidnapped.
Although, we're also watching a show where we've gone on record how many times the major hero, El Drago and Azteca, kidnapped, rescued Black Lotus.
Yeah.
Like, aggressively. So, like, duct taped, gagged the mouth, threw in the trunk of a car. He had a front seat. Uh-huh. He was driving a 2-seater. She could have ridden in the front.
It was a giant car.
It was a big car. I've distracted myself with terrible...
Also, so everyone
terrible
knows
examples.
I'm obviously joking. Belle, like, she's in a bad situation.
It's one of those. I'm curious if what is worse, Ariel or Belle, as far as like the long game of like you watch the full story and you're like, that's kind of an iffy message. I don't know.
I don't know either, but I'll raise you one worse, okay?
Okay.
The dragon from Shrek.
Wait, how was that worse?
She's getting fucked by that donkey.
That's awesome.
No, man.
Why not? Dude, she's getting fucked by that donkey.
No, that's not enough to fully penetrate and hit that G-spot.
Yo, man, you don't know how big that donkey's dick is.
Oh, dang, you're right. It's bigger than Shrek himself.
That's what I heard. He's got an innie that then comes out when he's ready to fucking go.
If you were to cut his penis off from the base when it's erect, just a flood of blood, The Shining style, would come out.
If I ever have to sneak into a room that is being guarded by the Luchador Drago, I think I would dress up as a donkey as a distraction and then send you in from back while I'm blowing Drago in the bathroom stall.
Oh, dang.
But as a donkey, so it's not weird.
Oh, no, absolutely not.
All right, cool. There's a match, right?
Yeah.
All right, cool. It's pretty neat. It's cool. I'm not going to lie. As soon as I saw Drago bring the face buster back, I got very excited. And Hernandez military pressing Cuerno, which is the big, he just kind of picks him up overhead and then lets him fall behind him. And then they close up on Cuerno's face and he's like, what? Cuerno being surprised at getting military pressed is a beautiful reaction. Mm-hmm. And I hope we can all one day be as expressive and pure as my throat goes away as King Cuerno as goes face first into the wrestling canvas.
In saying that, you did not take that again because not only were you coughing throughout, your chair is making that goddamn tick noise.
I can take it again now.
No.
Okay. Well, Cage and Cuerno take it again to get back on the same page. Cage and Cuerno alongside Tejano. Tejano, right? We're a former trios tag team. So they have, it's that awkward, like, it's a fatal four-way. Obviously, only one of us can win. But it's easier fighting 2-on-1 than it is 1-on-1. So they did some quick clue math and start doing some of their disgusting double team maneuvers.
Yeah.
The shit they do together. Ugh.
And I like how commentary split the two, where you have Hernandez and Cage on one side and then Drago and Cuerno on the other, meaning they say you have the pace of pain and the pace of fury.
The pace of pain and the pace of fury is a beautiful line and a beautiful description of how this match breaks down. Hernandez is getting worked over by Cage and Cuerno. Elbow drop from Cage, splash from Cuerno, pin attempt. Drago from the top rope tries to break it up, but Cuerno avoids, and instead Drago hits a third top rope maneuver on Hernandez. The teamwork again, train to nowhere, which is a powerbomb to lung blower, and then Cuerno and Cage don't fight just yet. They keep staring off, like, we're gonna have to fight soon, but then Hernandez and Drago just refuse to die and keep coming back in. Hernandez uses their stare down to get back into the match, clears Cage to take Cuerno 1-on-1, and then clears Cuerno with a pounce. Drago, Tijeras from the top to the floor on Cage. Like, they're not working together, but they're learning to separate, divide and conquer the team of Cuerno and Cage. Mm-hmm. Drago and Hernandez, I just wrote Drago and Hernandez, and that was the entire comment.
Okay, yeah, they do good shit.
Yeah, Drago and Hernandez. Drago sweeps the leg to trip top row splash deep 2. And what the hell is Killshot doing on the roof over the announce table in the dark spotlight?
Who knows, but hey, we could sense him.
Well, we could also see him. The spotlight, it was dark light, but it was still light. Like, it's very clearly Killshot hanging out on the roof.
But Vampiro could sense him.
Okay, well, we got to see him. Vampiro has cameras in the back of his third eye.
Oh, hell yeah, I like that turn of phrase.
Hey. Hernandez big swings Drago, dizzies himself for Cage to take out Hernandez. Now Cage and Cuerno can finally figure out who's the strongest on their team. They are finally ready to begin duking it out, except not yet. Drago inserts himself back into the match just long enough to get smashed by Cage and Cuerno again.
Yeah, these four are top-notch contenders, and as Vampiro put it, Puma had better be backstage praying, and Conan better be analyzing the best way to still get the biggest paycheck.
Absolutely. I don't know where it is, so I'm just going to mention it now. At some point, Vampiro also reveals that Cage wanted to be a professional skateboarder before he got into wrestling. I fucking love Brian Cage so goddamn much. Like, it's so weird because not only is he just the biggest dude, he's a big beefy guy that wrestles very clean, wrestles very crisp, and is a giant fucking dork. Like, there are so many pieces. The more you... Queen of the Ring is a great wrestling sort of personality, media personality, and she was doing a watch along of Dynamite, and I think she mentioned something like, I don't understand Cage. And it's like, I also do not understand Cage. And that's my favorite part about him. He's this meathead. He's so jockey. And then all of his moves are named after Wolverine. And I'm pretty sure he LARPs. And he definitely keeps tater tots in his pockets a la Napoleon Dynamite. He's such a goofy fucking dork, but he's also the most imposing figure I've ever seen walk the face of the earth.
Mm-hmm. And a big thing Vampiro was saying was like, oh man, what's he have? Just I forget what implement thing. He must be using a car as a skateboard. That dude's huge. Guys, this would have been years ago. He would not have been this jacked to be a skateboarder. At most, he's probably like a Mike Valley type where it's like, oh, you're still jacked and ripped, but you're not a machine.
He's not just jacked. Like Mike V is, how tall is Mike V?
I'm check. Curious. I'll pull up some stats.
Yeah, let's see how tall Mike V is. Because Mike V is, I feel like, stouter, where like Cage is still a big giant. Like, he's very tall in addition to being very jacked and being a fucking goof. God, I love him.
He is 5'10".
Mike V is 5'10"?
Yes.
That's actually pretty tall to be that, like, sort of stout. But I think Cage is still, like, what, 6'3", 6'4"?
I'll look at it.
All right. I can also look at it.
Brian Cage?
Yes.
6 foot.
He's, okay, 6 foot. So, so like 2 inches off. That's not too different. I just love that Cage was also a skater boy, who women would say, see you later, boy. And he would say, I'm going to read my Wolverine comics and watch my favorite Sting matches and Chris Canyon matches. And like wrestling's also very dorky. Like, I love it. It's super fucking dorky. There's a Batman in this match. Wrestling is dorky. And for this just huge ass fucking dork to be working so well, it makes me so happy.
Ass dorks. I'm an ass dork. I'm a dork for ass. I love Cage. Speaking of him just flipping off top ropes, it was great.
Yeah, Cage hits a very Chris Daniels-esque moonsault. Chris Daniels, of course, the innovator of the best moonsault ever, named the best moonsault ever. Beautiful moonsault from Brian Cage, though. Drago topes Cuerno. Hernandez motions to run for his own tope, his own dive over the top rope, but instead runs into the fist of Cage.
Oh!
Cage Irish whip, clotheslines Hernandez. Hernandez ducks and instead gets his dive in. I love that. Like, I'm going to dive. Nope. Yep, I'm going to dive. After that, Cage says, fuck it, climbs to the top rope, moonsault again to the floor on Hernandez and Drago. Cage then picks up Hernandez and Drago, a little bit of that teamwork coming back, gets ready for Cuerno to hit that arrow of death suicida, pulls the arrow back, looks up, sees Killshot, points the arrow at Killshot, fucking nails the arrow of death, but Hernandez avoid. Cuerno only gets Drago and Cage. Hernandez rolls Cuerno back into the ring, stalks from the apron, Drago from behind, flipping powerbomb.
Hernandez avoided, whereas the other two, they voided their bowels getting hit with that strike.
And you can smell it from here.
Oh, I can smell what The Rock is cooking. It's diarrhea, fresh into Chavo's bag.
That son of a bitch, that ain't thin gravy, and you know it. So Drago hits the flipping powerbomb. Cuerno is still in the ring, thrown in by Hernandez. Cage is dead. Hernandez is dead. Drago with the yellow mist to Cuerno's eyes. Dragon Layers seatbelt pin. Drago is your winner and number one contender at Ultima Lucha in 10 minutes and 34 seconds.
Oh.
Big welcome back chants after the match as Drago is met by the champ. Prince Puma in the ring stares at his contender in the face. While from his office, Dario peeks through his little blinds, his little peaky blinds, as a finger no-clips into his office, tapping him on the shoulder. And who does that finger belong to? Who could possibly be the possessor of that finger? Who's got a hand that ends with a finger that no-clips into an office to tap the boss on the shoulder? Why, it is Katarina, of course.
Well, he turns around and it's technically no one.
That's actually true. First, it's no one. Then he turns back around, and then he's like, I'm going to turn around one more time. And Katarina's in his chair.
Which I would be like, ma'am, please, you need to stop doing that. I have a pacemaker.
But, like, on the other hand, if I had no-clip superpowers, yeah, I would never knock on a door ever again. I feel like that's all I would do.
Also, my pacemaker doesn't set the pace of my heart. It sets the pace of pain and the pace of fury in me.
Yeah, and my pacemaker is just Jerry from Jerry and the Pacemakers. And it does nothing to save my health, but it does give me a funky beat to dance to.
A boo-boo-dee, da boo-boo-dee.
Katrina informs Dario of his mistake, not including Mill in that number one contenders match. And he's like, well, I didn't want to. So Katrina chokes Dario with his own key necklace. Starts accusing Dario of being in Mill's way. And the weaselly, ever fearful, ever choked Dario Cueto exclaims, in two weeks, Mill will challenge Drago for his Ultima Lucha contendership.
Oh, hell yeah. And Dario is loving this choke out.
Yeah, but he has to pretend he doesn't. What he doesn't, I don't think he loves, is Katrina having more information than he realized. Because she says, even the monster you have in that cell is no match for Mil Muertes.
Whoa.
Katrina and Mil know about Dario's head poppin' brother? What damn she's gone. And we go to black.
Real quick, this was a perfect split die opportunity because you see them both in frame as she's saying like, oh, I know about your brother who eats heads. They could have both been with a split diopter, which it splits pretty much a screen in two, so you can have someone in the foreground and someone in the background both in focus. They could have used that here, and it would have been so good. Brian De Palma would have seen it and been like, holy shit, this is the wrestling show for me.
Why do you know so much about the business?
I don't know. I watch YouTube. Like when I'm watching YouTube shit, it's like learning things.
Oh, man. Well, if you want to watch something where you will learn absolutely nothing, I guarantee it, come on over to twitch.tv/GooseVonKaiser. I will remove brain cells from your mind.
Yeah. As smooth as... Your brain will be as smooth as Sean's abs.
Yeah, baby. Smooth and squishy.
And hey, guys, if you want to find out about me, hey, head over to twitch.tv/mostly speaking Sentai while you're giving Goose a follow. I'm streaming, doing Final Fantasy V currently, and I get high every Friday and play Wheel of Fortune. I'd love more people to be in that chat while I'm stoned, or then it kind of just gets scary. And then please head over to mlmpod.com to find out about information on my other podcasts and listen to my music under Marshland Monster. New single with Dragon Boy Suede dropping July 7th, and the instrumental album of all of the Horror Crunk Entertainment remix album, that's all dropping like the first Friday of August. You can find it out yourself. And hey, best way to support us is by heading over to patreon.com/MLMpod, where for $5 a month you get exclusive content every single Friday. It's a very fun time over there. Check it out. But if you're feeling gracious and maybe want yourself promoted a little bit, do a $10 patron where you'll get all of the $5 stuff, but monthly content including straight to Patreon. That's real fun. And you get your name read on every single free feed podcast. So let's begin with those. Where is that list?
I don't actually know, but I am on pins and needles to find out.
Starting with Steve F.
So you gave me a black eye. Who cares?
Eric Berry of Ranger Command Power Hour.
So you gave me a black eye. Who cares?
Alex Z. The Waz.
So you gave me a black eye. Who cares?
Orion.
So you gave me a black eye. Who cares?
Jordan B. The Chaos Witch.
So you gave me a black eye. Who cares?
My big old brother in common law, Joshua Jakis.
So you gave me a black eye. Who cares?
From a sweet child of time, it's Steve Barnes.
So you gave me a sweet black eye. Who sweet and cares?
My mother.
Thank you for giving me a black eye.
Lil Corey's BFF and soon to be former roommate Shane.
So you gave me a black eye. Who cares?
That Fed.
So you gave me a black eye. Who cares?
Twitch.tv/core winning. It's Corwin.
So you gave me a black eye. Who cares?
And our friend, the lovely, you know them from the Rom Complex and Formulaic and twitch.tv/R2Shelby2 and soon to be a hit single that I wrote and produced, R2 Shelby 2.
So you never invited me on the Rom Complex. Who cares?
Oh, and you better believe I'll be going on again to promote this single when it's out because it's just about the movie Bedazzled.
Um,
And that's a rom-com, bitch.
yeah, so you're Brendan Fraser. Who cares?
Yes, and then that'll be every time I've gone on, I've talked about a Brendan Fraser movie.
Good.
And then we'll be doing The Whale on my third appearance because he's romanticizing about all that gay pornography he's jacking off to.
Yeah, and I will have seen The Whale by then, maybe.
No,
It doesn't matter.
No.
I'm not invited.
Yeah, I will probably do George of the Jungle.
Oh, as strong as he can be, he better look out for that tree.
George of the Bunghole.
Whoa, run into my ass, daddy.
Yeah.
And I am the new Batman.
And I'm James.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
I was like halfway to a Woody Woodpecker. I know
that's
we're
what I was
recording.
attempting.
Oh man, that's awesome. Woody Woodpecker's the best.
I think
Welcome to Sweaty Time Pro Wrestling. Boom, cut you off before we could have a real conversation so I could get in this intro.
Oh, yeah.